Brothers, I've been observing the downfall of the quartering for quite some time, and it's very interesting to watch Kino Casino absolutely rip him apart and vivisect him because the quartering has become not so much of a content creator, but he's a walking advertisement. When you tune into the quartering, you expect to be inundated with ads. Not like Twitch does it, where they're going to spam you with an ad roll, but he's going to introduce the ads into his content. Guys, if you really want to support the channel, which is floundering, by the way, and dying, go and buy my brand coffee. We got all these great, like, I would never buy coffee from you, Jeremy. I would never, ever buy coffee from you. Why? Because why the fuck would I buy? What do you know about coffee? Oh, I drink it, so I'm an expert on it. Right. You know, that's not the way that works, brother. The reality is that in this situation, Tim Pool really broke the quartering. That's what it is. Tim Pool broke the quartering. The quartering wanted to be Tim Pool so bad that he hired Tim Pool's sloppy seconds with Luke Rakowski and Hannah Claire, and he wanted to create his own show. He didn't call it the Jeremy Hambley Experience. He didn't call it the Jeremy Hambley Show. He called it Quartercast because Timcast was Timcast, but I'm going to be Quartercast with that stupid logo and this sort of like bootleg Timu version of what Tim Pool is doing. Yeah, it's no wonder it failed. You tried to copy somebody that was in the midst of doing something and it didn't work well. And instead of adapting, you basically have doubled down and now you're hemorrhaging cash and now people are laughing. So without further ado, I want to play a bit of this clip from Kino Casino. We're definitely not going to watch the whole thing. It's an hour and 35 minutes. But I do want to play a little bit of this because I do think that their insight is spot on. And if Jeremy were smart, if he were a good businessman, he put his ego aside and he listened to what these two were saying. He'd get out of his feelings. Facts don't care about your feelings. He'd get out of his feelings and he'd listen to what they're saying because what they're saying is absolutely fucking correct. It's spot on. Any businessman can tell you this. This isn't some sort of insight. Like, guys, here's the secrets of the world from Kino Casino. No, this is basic. Do not create outside of your means. If you're spending $20,000 a month and you're not bringing in anywhere near that, you are failing. What the quartering is doing is he is managing the decline as he goes down. Not very well, but that's what he's trying to do. Well, if I just do this and if I just beg more, if I just beg more and ask for more money and try to sell my wares, maybe we can get things right. No, you can't. You got to fire Melanie Mack. You got to fire Hannah Claire. You got to fire Luke Rakowski. You got to go back to basics. You got to drop the quartercast. Get rid of the fucking coffee. Nobody cares. Get back to making content. Stop putting out so many videos. Stop obsessing with clickbait garbage to your headlines. Make your thumbnails better. That doesn't mean cramming them with more shit. It means making them better. Maybe getting on the phone with the guy who did PewDiePie's thumbnails or something and getting them on board, putting the money that you were spending towards the quartercast and the coffee company and putting it towards somebody that can create better thumbnails and better titles for you because you're clearly not very good at it. Oh, I've been doing this for 12 years. Well, yeah. You've been doing it for 12 years. You're stagnant. And brother, your brand of like, guys, Jeremy Hambley here with the sham wow. Yeah, no. Nobody wants to be sold to in the way that you are. It's egregious. It's fucking disgusting. It's okay to sell a product and be like, guys, hey, by the way, if you want to support the channel, I'm going to put a link in the description. You can buy my coffee. That'll definitely help the channel. And it goes a long way. I think the coffee is good. Anyway, moving on. Like, you spend an astronomical amount of time on ads, which is why I watched one of your streams a little bit ago. And Jeremy, you went on and 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 on about your brands. How can you give Jeremy money? Well, the fact is, Jeremy, I wouldn't give you a dime. It's fucking egregious, and people can get better content elsewhere. That's my opinion on it. You can take it or you can leave it. I mean, if you are in a business and you are so arrogant that you can't take criticism, you're not going to be in business for very long.
So yeah, when you see me, I look fat. But like, for example,
but hang on. Chill.
But all right, guys, we're doing the quartering segment here. The downfall of the quartering is fascinating to watch because it's basically entirely self-inflicted. As we're going to see here, what quartering is doing here. I almost said review tech because they're both fat fucking retards, you know. But
It's like, what's the difference?
this is basically that picture of the person drowning and they're in the kiddie end of the pool and they could stand up at any time and stop themselves from drowning. This is what quartering is doing to himself. He's drowning himself by spending $20,000 a month on friends. This is what this is. It's a $20,000 a month friendship simulator.
Now, I don't necessarily agree with this 100%. I don't think it's necessarily a friendship simulator. I think it's an ego simulator. I think that he wanted to be Tim Pool so bad that he was willing to literally burn cash to do it if he could just feel like he was the boss. I think that's part of it too. Also, I don't necessarily think it's entirely self-inflicted. I think that audiences are tuning out because there are better, more edgy, more interesting, more authentic content creators out there that are now not being suppressed. And now, when you have this guy, Jeremy, who, I mean, is as boring and as plastic as anyone that I've ever seen, doesn't give a shit about the topics at all. And you know it. You know that he doesn't give a shit about the topics. And then on top of that, he's going to insult you by spamming you with ads that he himself is doing. I think it is self-inflicted, but I also think that other people are looking at that and going, absolutely fucking not. Why on earth would I subject myself to this type of content when there are better options out there?
Where he buys the friendship and affection of these women that he clearly is simping for, just siphoning away all of his personal wealth into Melanie Mack and Hannah Claire fucking Brimelo's bank account.
See, again, this is where I disagree with them. I think that there's an element of truth in that, but I do think it's ego. I think ego is the name of the game here. This guy, Jeremy, didn't call his show the Jeremy Hambley Experience or the Jeremy Hambley Show. He called it Quartercast, which tells you everything. Because Tim Pool was Timcast. And who did he hire on the Quartercast? He hired Hannah Claire and Luke Rakowski, who were sloppy seconds from Tim Pool. I think this is ego. I don't think he's really sexually attracted to, maybe he is, I don't know. I don't think he's necessarily sexually attracted to either of them. He could be, but I don't think that's the reason why. I don't think he wants to be friends with them. I don't think that's what it's about. I think it's about ego. I think that if Luke Rakowski and Hannah Claire hadn't been on Tim Pool, he never would have hired them. That's my take on it. He hired them because he wanted to be the next Tim Cast, and he's not.
Counts to the tune of $240,000 a year. And he admits that there's no day of the week where his show actually makes money other than the Friday show when it's just him. So why he doesn't see that the solution is to remove these people, these co-hosts that he's vastly overpaying, or change the incentive structure to where they split the revenue that comes in, is beyond me. It's just pathetic The reality is these women wouldn't accept the deplorable conditions that they're forced to perform in, where they have this giant fucking beluga sexually harassing them at every turn and providing the shittiest possible environment to perform in possible. Just the boredom fucking Olympics, unless he was paying them $1,000 a fucking week or whatever insane shit this is. It's wild. So we're
Paying them $1,000 a week is insane. That is absolutely insane. And they are milking him for everything that he's worth. And it's hilarious. When I'm talking about creating within your means, this is 100% what I'm talking about. Why the fuck would you be hemorrhaging cash unless it was an ego project? Unless it was all about, I'm Jeremy Hambley. I have the quartering. I'm the quartering. You know, I'm bigger than Tim Pool. I was doing this first. Unless it was like this ego-driven thing where if I just keep pumping cash into this, it'll eventually take off like Crowder or Tim Pool. Brother, the way that you solve this is you fire all of them and you go back to doing a solo show. Or you pick one person who's interesting and charismatic, and you let them do the bulk of the work, and you just sit back and you sort of, you grift off of them. You bring one person on that you can pay a reasonable wage, maybe like what he's saying, split the profit with on the Super Chats, and build something with them. Maybe a brand new channel, maybe having nothing to do with the quartering or the quartercast, but you wouldn't get to be the big boss. And I think that's why it would fail, because Jeremy wants to be the big boss. He wants to be the quartering. We have the quartercast, Jeremy Hambley. I think that's what he's obsessed with, and that's why he's ultimately going to fail, because he can't adapt and his ego is too big.
We're going to get into this here. It's his quartering's failed fundraiser.
Oh
It's
my
Kino.
God. We watched it on the last show, by the way. We watched the video, the fundraiser with the PS.
His failed giveaway. Let's go into the quartering folder here.
Here we go.
And we go into, okay, first of all, let's go into the scam viewership.
Okay.
Before we get to these clips. So here we have, this is quartering allegedly 30,000 live viewers on Rumble.
Wow, that's a big number.
Now, notice with 30,402 viewers, he only has 400 likes on the stream. That's strange, because that's a lot less than you would think a stream with 30,000 viewers would be getting of engagement.
Be at least
Now,
3,000 to 5,000, right? Minimum.
You would think, right? Or at least 1,000. I mean, I saw a live stream today on YouTube that had 2,700 viewers, and an hour and a half in, it had 1.1 thousand likes.
There you go.
You know,
Now,
this is supposedly 30,000.
So we're gonna see the chat here, is what you're saying?
Yeah, let's look at the chat speed here.
Did you screen record this?
No, a legend called Return of the Mac and Cheese
that guy
on
rules.
Kiwi Farms.
Yeah.
The legendary one-man army against the quartering's crimes.
Amazing.
Expose quartering. This was his stream, I believe, on Friday.
By the way, Rumble Foreskin 123 says quartering used to be one of my least favorite segments. Now it's peak. You guys, you had to let us cook. We're telling you, trust us.
You have to, yeah.
So we're gonna put our chat. I'm gonna hit play.
Catching on, Smash JT. He
To work out, if you want me to send the item, where you.
Buddy, it's the same, like 10 people. NF,
Yeah.
American, whatever, Prosper or whatever. What the dude?
So other people are catching on. Smash JT. He
King.
looks at a different live stream, goes, hold up. The quartering currently has over 18,000 people watching on Rumble. And we're supposed to believe he is struggling for financial support and not view botting? Come on.
Damn. Smash JT with the RKO out of nowhere. Yeah, that's brutal. That is obviously view botting, and again, it goes back to ego. Tim Pool has a lot of viewers. So Jeremy's like, well, I should have a lot of viewers. I'm telling you, this is one of the biggest and most hilarious downfalls because it is yet another example of how ego and pride kills.
On man. Come on.
Smash JT. Big shout outs to him. Oh, here.
He
more.
goes, also weird he ended his stream and rated Nina Infinity, but yet she struggles to surpass 1,000 people. Makes you wonder.
Listen, 30K people brings in at least 5K to stick around.
Buddy,
for
come on. There's nobody there. There's nobody there.
Yeah, they're right. Yeah, I mean, it's so transparent that he's botting.
Quartering, this is brutal, buddy. Just horrible dead air all throughout. Coffee ads and grifting all throughout. Mind you, he promised everybody he wouldn't do a coffee ad this week for Fan Appreciation Week. Half of this show, without exaggeration, was just him shilling coffee.
Right? Well, I'm like, I genuinely was blown away. I don't watch the quartering, okay? But I happened to see a little bit, not even a lot, a little bit. And it was a coffee ad. And at that point, I was watching out of incredulity, not because I was going to buy the fucking product, but I was incredulous. You're going on and on and on. It's pathetic. Like, brother, you can disagree with my content, like some of the topics I cover, it may be a little bit controversial for today's climate, 2025. But at the end of the day, you can disagree with it, but nobody is going to call me inauthentic. No one's going to say, well, this guy obviously doesn't care about what he's talking about. Because I don't sit for half of the video and go, all right, guys, well, let's take a break from that. Let me sell you on Templar brand whiskey. Like, we're not going to take a moment to interrupt this broadcast to give you some kind of sales pitch. It's fucking pathetic. If you're going to do an ad like that, make it quick, make it succinct, make it to the point, brief, maybe 10, 15 seconds max. The quartering spends minutes talking about, well, if you haven't gone over and bought coffee brand coffee yet, I don't know what you're doing. You must hate your own mother. If you don't buy coffee brand coffee, I'm not saying that you're more likely to kill your mom, but it's like, no, brother, no one wants your shitty fucking coffee. Nobody wants your coffee. Why would they buy coffee from you? I mean, like, well, it would be like if I started selling, hey guys, Templar brand tampons. Templar brand tampons. Buy your tampons. Man, yeah, we'll get back to the topic in a minute, Cheddar. But let me show you these tampons that I'm selling. Templar brand tampons. They're the highest quality of tampon. We get only the best cotton picked in a southern field by verified black people. The best tampon. No, fucking no. No one's going to buy tampons from me. No one's going to buy coffee from you. Jeremy, you are trying to play the same game as everyone else and you're fucking losing. Here's what you do, Jeremy. You drop the stupid fucking coffee company. You drop all the other companies. You drop all your co-hosts. You get rid of them. You go back to a more manageable. You do 3 videos a day. Okay? That's still a lot, but you do 3 videos a day and you actually pretend that you give a shit about each topic more. If you want to do a 4th video for people that are behind your paywall, fine. But each video, you have to actually give a shit. You can't just put out slop anymore. You can't just put out slop anymore because you are in rarefied air, Jeremy. You are in rarefied air. Do you know who you remind me of at this point, Jeremy? You remind me of David Pakman. Now, for those who don't understand that reference, I've done a couple videos in the last couple weeks about David Pakman. And if you want to take a look at his content, David Pakman is the king of left-wing slop. The king of left-wing slop.
Watch this guy Pac-Man, he's good.
It's garbage on a level that is hard to explain, so I'm going to show you. Pakman has the laziest titles, the laziest thumbnails. It's Trump deranged, and you could scroll for the next 15 minutes, and it's all going to be this. You could just keep scrolling. And so do you start to see the problem? Do you start to see the problem here when you go all in on something and it's the only reason that you're getting views, or it's the only reason that you're relevant, and you sort of ruin yourself with this because you become known as that guy? Well, Jeremy, you are the inauthentic Timu Timcast. That's what you are. That is your reputation. And as we scroll through David Pakman, we see it's all Trump all the time. And that's because this guy has gone all in on one thing, and he has destroyed any semblance of a reputation for that. By the way, we only went through that for like a couple seconds. You could literally go minutes of just scrolling and never get into the end of the Trump deranged content. So I think that's an important thing to keep in mind, that Jeremy, you got a lot of reflecting to do on why your shit isn't working if you want to be able to maintain your brand.
And he's like,
it's right here too.
yes, it's right there. Okay, but this is him reading a news article from the Daily Mail and telling us that this is journalism and a deep dive you can't get anywhere else. And that's why you need to subscribe to the Quarterings membership plan.
Except for the Daily Mail.
Is one of the most prominent news organizations on earth, like one of the most popular in the United Kingdom.
All right. Well, I mean, let's not get crazy. The Daily Mail is shit. But it doesn't negate their point that they're making about the quartering. But yeah, I would definitely recommend going and watching Kino Casino. Going and watching the full video. It's an hour and 35 minutes for this one. But they do good work. And yeah, they have way more clips of Jeremy just making a fool out of himself and establishing that he doesn't know what the fuck he's doing. And I was watching this, and I don't know exactly where it was. Let me cover this real quick, because I think this was good. Him trying to title the video.
Oh, and to the bitter end, up until the last minute of his stream, for his 10 super chats of $5 or more.
But I was telling Ashton this too, by the way. So isn't it funny? It's like you show off your Rolex, you show off your mansion, you show off all these cars, and then you ask people for $5? Why the
Yeah, the context was Jeremy was he was asking people for subscriptions, and apparently he only made $50 in one of his streams. Now the thing is, $50 is a lot of money, but not for what he's doing. If you're spending $20,000 a month, if you're hemorrhaging $20,000 a month, then that means you are $50 is not much in that case. If you're losing that much fucking money, $20, $20, $50 is not that much. For me, if I do a stream and I get $50, I'm like, that is insane. That is immense generosity. That is crazy, because I'm not creating content outside of my means. I'm a one-man operation that can do this myself. I make my own thumbnails. I make my own titles. So for me, $50 for a stream would be Christmas. That is insanely generous. But I guess one of the differences between myself and the quartering is I never ask my audience for money. They just donate it because they like the content, which is honestly way more humbling. It's way more humbling than you like groveling and trying to shame people into giving you money. And they're like, oh, fine. Oh, fine. Just stop, Jeremy. Here's $5. Like, I would be mortified. I would be absolutely humiliated if that were my content. I would be ashamed. I really would be. Like, guys, could you? No, I can't even joke about it. No, absolutely fucking not. My content will always be free. I'm not going to beg for money. My content will always be free. It's so egregious the way that he does things. And not to glaze myself, because that's not what this comment is about. But I believe that my authenticity in covering these topics and being forthright and being honest is what brings people in. And I think that from what I've seen and from what people have said, that's why people want to donate to my stuff, even though it's free, because they like the content. I'm sure it's the same with these guys too. But Jeremy isn't authentic and he begs for money. And that's fucking gross. And that's creepy.
Would they ever give you $5? Yeah. It doesn't add up.
It's ridiculous.
YouTube today. No exclusive content for a while.
But,
okay.
He has a plane.
So,
he has a plane, by the way.
So Andy, get this. This is the content on your fan appreciation week content, sir. He's uploading videos live and titling them live. And this is the content for like 15 or 20 minutes. I'm not fucking kidding.
There's no way.
I'm serious.
Wait,
I'm serious. Watch this.
Oh my God.
Make sure like my web guy has that updated. So we're pushing Rumble still or YouTube. I don't care where anybody watches.
Oh, Big L for quartering in Rumble. He told us that Rumble was the way, the truth, and the light, that no one can come to free speech and financial success except through Rumble. And now he doesn't even care where you watch if you want to know the truth about it, bitch. So he's getting cooked. He's getting totally removed from the Rumble front page very, very soon. He's been hinting towards it. The relationship's deteriorated. Rumble has realized that this guy isn't worth anything. Rumble is in a cost-cutting phase, and they're going to trim the fat literally by removing this fat fucking quarter planet bum from their lineup.
Yeah,
it's tough, isn't it? He's getting merged into the ether.
I'm going to be real. Mersh made more money than him.
Well, Mersh will sometimes get $100, $200 on a show.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Quartering is asking for $50. That's the goal. That's where he's setting his sights. So that indicates to me that he makes usually less than that a day. But every show he does with Hannah Claire and Melanie Mack costs $1,000. So you start $1,000 in the hole and you make $50 to $100 on a show. Mm-hmm. You're bleeding $900 or more every single show.
Pretend says, thanks, Jeremy, for all the new Discord chats. Loving the mom one. Thanks for all you do. Hey, thanks. And thanks for, that is number 2 of our goal of 10 over on YouTube. So thank you. Minnesota Monster Bombshell.
He's at $15.
I'm not joking. I used to do blog TV in the ancient times. Back in my day, I did blog TV. I had to get more donos on before it was like morally acceptable to accept donos.
Yeah.
Like people would
nobody was doing it. It wasn't the fashion of the time. People were shamed for it, and you could still get more than $50. Yes. We got Roswell the cat for 5 subs.
Let's go.
Cops reveal.
Look at this. We're watching a guy title a video. That's what we're watching. That's the content.
Bombshell. By the way, who cares? Minnesota Monster. Who gives a fuck about this? Listen, wait. Is this fucking trans fucking shooting?
I think so. Yeah, I think
Why
so.
was I demonetized?
I can't believe it.
I wonder why.
What do I say?
He doesn't even know. He's asking his audience what he should title it.
Several
Could you guys donate?
This is
and tell me
guys.
what I
This is
should
the
name it?
creative process at work, guys. This really.
run.
Look at his description. This
News is totally insane.
Oh,
It's
man,
really good.
the-
Nailing it. This news is insane. It's totally
The
crazy.
school shooting is nuts.
Whoa.
Whoa, buddy.
My brain cells are under attack.
Whoa, buddy.
Literally
School-
thinking of this is the thing is he's not even passionate about the clickbait drivel that he puts out. It's not like he's even like, okay, how do I scam them this time? Here we go. I have a brilliant idea. And I love the scam. I love the thrill of the clickbait. He's just like so boring, low energy as he goes about clickbaiting his audience. We're getting the guys, we're so grateful to get this peek behind the curtain into the creative process of Jeremy Ham Plan It. Come on.
Wait till the end for crazy news to know what the killer did. All right.
Ins.
Come
The
on!
cops reveal.
Title's too long already, buddy.
It's already too long. He was told on the last edition of the Quartering Bag cast that his titles were too long. Dankula told him. I'm pretty sure it was Dankula.
Like, just to be honest, who's going to tune in and watch this? Who's going to tune in to watch the Quartering try to title his videos? I'm just saying this. This is egregious. Because this is the content, and then it immediately transitions to, well, buy my coffee. Jeremy, you got a lot of reflecting to do if you want to try to save your brand, brother. You got a lot of tough decisions to make. Shout out to Kino Casino. I think that they did a great job of just breaking down the Quartering and highlighting the decline of this guy that used to be rather prominent in content creation. Anyway, brothers, that'll do it. Thanks for watching. Thanks for your generosity. Thanks for your support. And I'll see you next time.